Hello, this is Mr. Crozier. I'm going to go over the answers for this SAT practice test 6. Again, this will help you do the actual practice test 6, which you have this answer key for. So when you do this part and this part here, and then find your score using the scoring guide, hopefully these questions help you a little bit. All right, first, again, graphing linear equations. Start at -5. Go up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1. Next, factoring this. This is a difference of squares, so it's 5x plus 4, 5x minus 4. Sum of complex numbers. Add the 4 and 12. Add the I part here, -11. All right, on the next one, if x is equal to 3/4 y and y is 24, what's the value of 3x plus 1? Well, we need x, so if you plug in y here, you have 3/4 times 24 is 18. Now you can take the 18 and plug it in and get 55 for y. Solve the equation, take the square root, square both sides, x plus 1 is 1, subtract 1 is 0. On number 6, if you factor out an 8x here and a 3 there, you have x plus 2 and x plus 2. Those would divide out, leaving you with 8x over 3. How many solutions does this have? Well, it has 2 solutions here, but if you do the quadratic formula and do the discriminant, you have the square root of -31, which it really should say no real solutions. This has 2 solutions, but they're imaginary solutions, and I don't believe you really have to deal with imaginary numbers. So there are no solutions to this because this would give you a square root of -31. Down at the bottom, the vertex, 1, -4. The y-intercept, 0, -3. The zeros are at -1 and 3. The zeros are the x-intercepts. All right, page 2. Simplify here. We can factor this one here, FOIL this one here and get this expression up here. And so now it's 2x squared minus 4x minus the x squared minus the x, and minus a minus is plus 6. Simplify the parts. A car rental company, you should be able to come up with this equation of y is equal to the daily rate plus 180 degrees. And then if you plug in 9 and 450 there, solve the equation, 25 per day. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Subtract it over, divide everything by -3. Typo here, it should have said the art or the film club. Well, in the art and the film club, we have 29 or 16 plus 20 7th graders out of 58 7th graders. You're only using these numbers here. On number 13, population density is the number of people per square mile. So we're going to take the population, divide it by square miles. How many people are in every square mile? And Singapore has a higher density people per square kilometer than Hong Kong. Solving this equation, you have to solve these 2 systems here with substitution or elimination, however you want to do it. Solve them, and then once you solve and you have your x and y's, put them into 3 minus x. You have an answer there. If we're given a function and we're asked to do f of 3, that means simply plug in the 3 where the x is. And then you could cube this and multiply it. 2/3 to the 0 power is just 1. 2 times 1 is 2. F of -1 means, negative means I take the reciprocal of this, and now I have 2 times 3/2 is 3. All right, on the last page, the graph here, the average rate of change. Well, average rate of change means slope. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, rise over run. So you just find these points. On 5, we're at 10, and on 15, we're at 30, and we're looking for that rate of change there. So we just subtract the y, subtract the x's, and we have 2. The average rate of change from 30 to 40. Again, set up a y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Find the slope. The sum of the solutions, well, the solutions here are 3 makes this 0, -4 makes this 0, 9 makes this 0. Add up these 3 solutions. If the temperature changes from 72 to 91, that's a 19-degree change, and divided by 72 gives you a 26.9% change increase. Remember, for the percent change, you do the change over the starting value. Radius of a circle, well, you have to do completing the squares and take this and turn it into this format right here, which is x plus 2 squared plus y minus 1 squared. These steps right here are completing the square. And over on the other side, we have 11 plus 4 plus 1 is 16. And the radius is the square root of 16, which is 4. This is something you probably don't do until you get to an Algebra 2 class, but you're looking for this square root over here. These numbers here, to find these numbers here, just take the b value divided by 2 squared. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, squared is 4. Negative 2 divided by 2 is -1, squared is 1. And then you just add those over and get 16. Take the square root. Solve the equation, distribute it in there, simplify it down, 41/18, so you can leave it as a fraction. The volume of a cylinder, pi r squared times h, plug in all the unknowns, and you have the volume. And the last one, given the equation, what's the x-intercept? Well, here's the x-axis, and on an x-axis we have a point, A, but the y value is 0, because there's no height. So plug in 0 for y, solve the equation for x. When you plug in 0 for y, you just have 2/3 x equals 2, multiply by 3 over 2, and you have 3. That's an x-intercept. All right, again, this should help you when you take the SAT, the official one that's posted online, practice test 6. Hopefully you'll recognize some of these problems, and I hope it helps.